Switch Station 32. Today we're here for an unboxing of Final Fantasy Ultimate Archives, Volume 1 through 6. I figured we do a book. I haven't done a book in a while. Final Fantasy is probably my favorite series of all time. I love Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is what really made me get into games and show me like what games could be, from going from platformers when you're a kid to an open world adventure. Finding out that games can take you on this ultimate grand adventure. That game was Final Fantasy for me. Let's get into this. My fiance got me this for Christmas, hardcover. It's probably my favorite thing I got for Christmas. I'm pretty excited to get into this. Your back, your advertisement. I put the sticker right on the book. I'm not happy about that, but oh well. I think it'll peel off pretty good. This is a pretty smooth cover. There's your artwork. Back. Starts off with phrases from the games. Your index for all of them. Final Fantasy, the box art. The original game for NES. It goes over every game every time they remade this for all the systems. Pretty fancy, very nice stuff. That Final Fantasy 1, I've seen it at one of the local pawn shops, in boxed for 60 bucks. And Final Fantasy is one of my favorites. I was really thinking about getting that just to have it. I mean, I have that game on a few times I can play, but I'd just like to have it in the box. Artwork. Look at all this hand-drawn art. Anybody that appreciates the work that goes into these games and is an artist that likes to draw, I can't draw, but I appreciate the work that goes into it. I love looking at this kind of stuff. Story. Characters. There's so much hand-drawn art in this. The world map for the original game. Like I said, back then, it might not seem like much now, but back then this was a huge game and a huge adventure. People loved this kind of stuff back in the day, because you didn't have games that you could take you on an adventure like this back then. The monsters, really nice. There's your opening scene, extra content, and you just see the detail that is in this book. Final Fantasy memories. It starts on the Final Fantasy 2 stuff. Same thing. Goes over all the different systems that it's been on. Look at this artwork here. There's the story. Characters. They do have volume 2 of this book too. I want to get that as well. Look at this. Anybody that's a huge Final Fantasy fan, you need this in your collection. The world. Monsters. Shows where they started and their picture of what they look like in the game. Look at this extra content. Show you how much detail's in this book. Your different backgrounds. Pre-hand-drawn stuff there. Pretty fancy. It's stuff like that that I love about these books like these. Like, you ain't gonna find stuff like this without being able to buy a book like this. It's sad that everything's going digital, because pretty soon we might not have stuff like this, and that's the sad world. Because years down the road, when the game disappears and everything's gone, you don't have nothing left of it. It's just gone in a digital world. Your memories. And Final Fantasy 3. Story and characters. Basically the same kind of thing for every game. Look at your characters for Final Fantasy. Stuff like this I love. There's your map. Show you the scale of it. All hand-drawn artwork. Extra content. To anybody that's a collector and on the fence about buying this book, I have no regret. I'd recommend it. I can't have regrets anyway because I didn't buy it. My fiance bought it for me. Sketching out the map. Pretty cool stuff there. I really like that. More hand sketch stuff. Show you the attention to detail that they put into the games this big. Gotta show this page. Really nice artwork there. Final Fantasy III Memories. Final Fantasy IV, which was 2 here. Really like this game. But I played 3 first. I played 2 later on. As I get a little bit older, I played Final Fantasy III before I played Final Fantasy II. And I'll tell you a story about that once I get to it. Characters. Artwork and how they sketched out the characters to make them their final product. Your world. More artwork. Vehicles. There's your opening storyboard. Pretty cool, pretty fancy stuff. There's your DS version of it. Artwork from the DS. Memories. Final Fantasy V. Shows the original PlayStation on there. Artwork. Really nice fancy artwork. Story and characters. You know, I'm going over a lot of it. It seems like repetitive, but I'm showing the same thing from the different games. Different characters. Anybody hasn't played one of the older Final Fantasies, I'd definitely recommend getting into them. They're really good 16-bit games. They're open world. I was really happy when I found out they were going to Switch. The newer ones above this, like starting with 7, but I was kind of hoping that they're going to be cartridges because I really wanted to have them just to collect them for the Switch, but as far as I know right now, they're only digital. I'm not happy about that. I was really looking forward to getting them on cartridges for the Switch. Extra content. All the hand-drawn art. Now this is neat. Shows where they were and how they started and where they ended. Your memories. And then Final Fantasy VI, which is 3 for me. The Super Nintendo game, that's the one I played. I loved it. One of my favorite games to this day. This game is what showed me what games could be. Before that, I was young. I was only playing platforming games. I was probably about 8, 9. And went over to my cousin's house. He was huge into games too, him and his friend. And they were playing stuff like Zelda and Final Fantasy. Zelda was really cool, but when I saw them playing Final Fantasy and they're older kids, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I still remember it like it was yesterday, the first night I seen this game and them playing that. And from that, all I wanted to do was play this game. And when I finally got to play it, it was my favorite game for probably right till 7. Final Fantasy 7, I'd say, is probably my favorite game of all time, but this right here game is what made me fall in love with video games. The art. Story and characters. Just looking over it brings back memories. Good memories. Some more art from the game. And then there's your world. At the time when I played this, I thought it was the greatest thing ever, this world. Extra content. Pretty nice stuff. Character sprites. Breaking down the world. That's pretty neat right there. Really like stuff like that. Or extra content. And then your memories. I know this brought back a lot of memories for me. And some more stuff, character voices and their names, and a little article about them. Pretty neat. There's Super Famicom. That'll be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like and a subscribe. If you guys love Final Fantasy, if you're into this kind of stuff, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys what Final Fantasy game you guys really love, or what game made you guys fall in love with video games. Your guys' stories of any games that made you guys fall in love with video games. That'll be Switch Station 32, here for another book review.